knight e4 tricks, which is very common in the Ragozin. Say, if I would have played e3, then among other things that black can do, which is castle, c5 play, and so on and so on. But that would be one of the ideas, yeah, knight e4. So knight d2 takes care of that, but then black can switch to playing a sort of a usual Carlsbad structure, Carlsbad maneuvering. So knight to f8, knight to g6, then later h6 to get rid of the pin. And interestingly, in the Ragozin, black does not mind exchanging on c3, right? But now if you play a3, I guess black just goes back. Because what white did, again, white has won a tempo, right? But once again, like winning a tempo with a2, a3 and going knight d2 is not necessarily very useful moves, right? Because later on, in order to play for this for this kind of plan, you will need to move the pawn, the a pawn, for a second time.
Yeah.
So bishop e7, and then knight to g6 and h6 very likely, or sometimes knight e6 as well. Yeah, knight e6. What was this plan?
Knight e6,
g6, knight to g7, in order to play bishop f5.
Hallelujah, you swap off the knight square bishop.
Right. It's Queen's Gambit structure, the Carlsbad structure, right, with somewhat strange placement of both knights, I would say, knight on d2, knight on f8, but no major differences. It's still very positional, long-term plans, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Yeah. It's very tricky opening as well. There are so many different order of moves and similar ideas, but yeah.
f2, h4, and g5, and that would be a very comfortable way of attacking. So.
Also, if you play queen g2 and then play g5, it's already a direct attack, right? f7 is going to be, I mean, quite weak, but I like both ideas. Queen h4, queen f2 and then push h4. It's also nice. I'm just a fan of protecting all my pieces. So when I look at g4, even though it's looking very good right now, I just want to protect it.
Yeah, that's why you're Grandmaster level. That's exactly how modern Grandmasters play.
Look, here's the question though. What does Gukesh do here in the meanwhile? So he's to move. E3, we applied as much pressure as we could, it seems, right? There is no more piece that it can attack e3 anytime soon.
Yeah, what I think Gukesh can do is try to prepare for c5, because it's obvious you cannot really play in the king side so much. It is white who is controlling it. So I think what black can do is try to play in the center and a little bit to the flank.
Yeah,
so,
but how do you do it? It's because b6, I think c6 pawn can be taken.
So knight moves, knight d7 maybe.
Knight to d7 and then queen g2 we said, right?
Yeah, now queen h4.
Queen h4.
But queen h4 there's rook h3.
Oh,
yeah, so
what a pain. Now you go c5.
c5.
Oh, the g4 is g5.
That's like g5.
G5, yeah. Yeah, the queen is a bit cramped there.
Yeah, looks like super scary, right?
Yeah,
It
I know,
it is.
it's no longer scary. It's actually
it's
trapped.
losing, yeah.
It's actually trapped.
H3.
Yeah.
And that's
King
it.
to h3, and
That is a winning move.
right. But wait a sec. So we know that's it. But do players know? Is there like any chance? Because what I can see is they're risking f8, and at least for now, I don't see how do we win immediately.
Probably bring the king
Go
up
with the king.
and try to give a checkmate.
But where is?
King g4. So you're right there.
But where is the checkmate?
Okay, so if you go b3.
is gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the land. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a ride. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a ride.
Yep.
You go king f5.
And queen f6. Ooh.
What is? This is such a nice finish.
Queen f6.
But what
yeah.
happens? Yeah, and
Because originally I thought this, but then the queen
There's
comes
queens,
with
yeah.
a check. But queen f6 takes, b1. Black is even first to promote, and then you promote into
A rook.
rook. Fair enough. Yeah. Rook. So sacrificing a queen
So yeah.
by not promoting into queen. Whoa! But this is much harder line than the other one we were looking at.
Yeah.
Like king runs to f5 and then queen f6, and it's such a beauty. And this is very easy to miss from afar. Like, yep. Like, with black, you opt for this position. You think I go king f8 because there is zero ideas if not for this king march.
Right. But
And-
there's just no risk for white because white can always give a check and just acquiesce to the draw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and the check on h8 doesn't give anything because it's just one check, yeah? And once the king goes to g4,
Yeah, g4.
But then what's important? There is no check from g5. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's queen e8. Yeah,
Oh.
this is impressive. King h3. What? What a game.
so every round, literally every round, we will have some upsets, even on the top boards.
So today we've had some upsets. We saw Vaishali, she won against Wahidov. We saw Riddick Makarian take down Anish Giri. In a great game,
Yeah.
actually. And we also saw, I don't know whether this was a surprise so much, Sindarov also hold Hikaru Nakamura to a draw.
Well, Gukesh losing, it's quite a difference in Elo as well. So I'm not sure.
Like
how.
100 maybe? Or less than
I
100?
think more.
Is-
I think more. Gukesh is what, 2750?
Gukesh is 2750 and this one, yeah, more than 107 to be exact.
Yep.
Birds have just begun.
So,
And
did
further
Guke-
on down, we saw that our favorite
Gukesh
streamer, Eric,
played-
also won. Rosen.
Gukesh played b3, but then
Queen e8.
Queen E8.
after queen e8,
Queen g5.
there's not much to do. Queen f6 now he played.
Oh, Queen f6?
Queen f6.
Okay.
Right. If I was to guess, I would say
You can
well,
still promote,
you
right, and run the king up to
do
h5.
h5, yeah. You promote, and then yeah, there will be checks, but you go here, and this check no longer works because queen g5. So there will have to be checks from the back, and eventually this king should be able to get all the way. Wait a second. Are we sure? I understand it's two queens, yeah, but where does this queen?
Oh, the b3 pawn. You cannot give a check on b3 later. So you can keep going to e5.
Just hide on c8.
Oh, also this one c8 as well, yeah.
And then you go here, like here.
Yeah.
Have a nice dance.
No, I mean at some point.
Yeah.
Now it's already clear. Right?
No, thanks to the
So-
pawn on b3. The check stops.
Otherwise there will be. maybe maybe it is important. Maybe it is important that the pawn is there. No, seriously, because you'd always give checks from that side. Maybe. I know. No, like the king would go to second rank and then to e1. Yeah. It can't be a perpetual check with 2 queens.
Okay, so Gukesh losing in this position. Can we quickly go over to Vistak against Kartikeyan?
Yeah.
And we see Gukesh desperately trying to get a perpetual check. But I mean, what do we think about this? Wasn't
And found some nice tactic, I want to say. Rookie 2, yeah, and the game just finished.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
uh,
And also Gukesh game just finished and Gukesh resigned.